Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome AMD President and CEO, Dr. Lisa Su.
Welcome, welcome. How are you guys all doing? All right, welcome to our next Ryzen gaming event. This is like a phenomenal crowd. It's so good to see you all here today in the theater at E3. Are you guys having fun? Yeah. Okay, and thank you to all the gamers who are joining us on the live stream around the world. We have an incredible show for you today. You know, E3 is an amazing place, and every year, millions of gamers look forward to seeing new games and new gaming technology. And so we are just super excited to be here today with you to unveil some of our newest and most important gaming technologies and partnerships. And we have a lot in store for you today. We will be joined by the one and only Jeff Keighley, so let's give him a big round of applause. And we also have some amazing partners. You're going to see some amazing stuff this afternoon. So let's go ahead and get started. Are you ready? Yeah! Okay, so look, as we just saw in the video, today is all about the question, what's next? Our goal at AMD is to push the envelope on technology, and the entire team is always asking, what's next? So, whether it's what's next in PCs, or what's next in consoles, or what's next in the cloud, we're going to show you some really exciting stuff that just answers that question of what's next. So, you've heard me say how much AMD loves gamers. Have you heard me say that? Yeah! So, we love you, and our goal is to give you exactly what you want. And, you know, the fact is, you're the smartest and most demanding tech guys in the world. Is that true? So you expect the best of everything. The highest possible frame rates, the best quality, the most incredibly responsive and immersive experiences. And most importantly, these days, you want to be able to play and share and experience across every platform. And to deliver that incredible gaming experience, you actually need two things. You first need incredible breakthrough hardware. And in addition to that, you also need breakthrough games. And you need these two to really be optimized together to create that next level of gaming performance. And frankly, you know, sometimes the hardware gets a little ahead, and sometimes the software gets a little bit ahead. But it hasn't always been in sync across platforms when you play across PCs or consoles or the cloud. However, starting now, we're going to change that. We have the opportunity, together with our partners, to bring the best technology has to offer to gaming across hardware, software, and platforms. And that is our vision for gaming. Do you like that? Yeah! So look, it's an incredibly exciting time for gamers everywhere. Just take a look across all of the most exciting platforms. When we think about gaming, graphics is at the heart of gaming, and AMD Radeon is truly everywhere. Just look at every category of the market, whether you're talking about PCs, or you're talking about notebooks, or desktops, or Macs, or game consoles, or the cloud, or now even mobile, with our new partnership between AMD and Samsung to power future mobile devices. We are making Radeon the most widespread graphics engine in gaming. And now, at AMD, I've told you we're all about pushing the envelope. And to create the best technology, you frankly have to make very big bets. And sometimes you have to make those bets 3 to 5 years out. And this year in 2019, what you're seeing is the results of some of those big bets that we actually made 3 to 5 years ago. So look, we bet on 7-nanometer process technology for faster and more efficient silicon. We bet on these new engines, and these engines are incredible. Our new Zen 2 CPU core and our new RDNA graphics architecture. And frankly, we put these things together in a really smart way with chiplet technologies that give you great capability and flexibility. And so, just to give you a few examples of this technology in action, how many of you are PlayStation fans? So, last month, Sony announced that the next-gen PlayStation would be built around AMD's new gaming architectures. And we've been working collaboratively with Sony over the last few years to build a custom chip based on the Zen 2 and the next-gen Radeon architectures. And we are incredibly excited to partner with Sony to enable their vision of the next-generation console. Now, you also heard recently that Google announced at this year's Game Developers Conference Stadia, its new cloud streaming service. And this is also powered by AMD Radeon GPUs. And you just heard a few days ago that Stadia will actually be available in November. And we look forward to seeing what that launch is going to be. It's very, very exciting. Now, let me ask, since we are at E3, how many of you caught the Xbox event yesterday? All right. Totally action-packed, but what you heard from Phil Spencer and the Microsoft team is they announced the next amazing chapter in our partnership, the next generation Xbox, codenamed Project Scarlet. Now, Project Scarlet is powered by a custom processor co-engineered between our team and the Microsoft team with one goal in mind, to deliver the ultimate gaming experience. And it uses our Zen 2 CPU core and our next generation Radeon RDNA gaming graphics architecture. And we're absolutely thrilled to partner with the Xbox team to enable their vision for the future of gaming. So that's a lot of platforms to be excited about. We're really excited about them. But as excited as we are about those platforms, AMD loves the PC platform. So look, for all of you who love PCs and love building your own gaming rigs and love the best of technology, today is for you. We're introducing today what I would call the ultimate gaming platform. And we're the only company in the world that can really bring you the best in both CPUs and GPUs. And it's frankly an incredibly exciting time for us as well as the industry because we're introducing the brand new 3rd gen Ryzen desktop processors. And the brand new Radeon RX 5700 series graphics cards. Woo! All right, let's go ahead and get started with Ryzen, please. Are you guys excited about 3rd gen Ryzen? Yeah! Okay, I have to say, the anticipation around 3rd gen Ryzen is really impressive, okay? You guys are amazing. I mean, we were pretty excited at the 1st gen Ryzen launch, right? Weren't those great products? Yeah. And we actually love the 2nd generation Ryzen just as much. But when I read the comments from you guys and the anticipation on Reddit or Twitter or across the forums about 3rd generation Ryzen, it's truly spectacular to see the excitement in the community. So our goal is very, very simple. Our goal is to give you the best CPU for every gamer. And it all starts with the CPU core, the engine. So we are so proud of Zen 2. Zen 2, our architects just did an amazing job. It is just incredible engineering. And when you just take a look at the specs, I'll just give you a couple. 15% instructions per clock uplift. Double the cache size for lower memory latency for faster gaming. And double the floating point, which is really great for creative workloads. And if you think that we're really proud of the Zen 2 engine, when we bring this over to the product side, it's fantastic. Just take a look at this stack. So we are extremely excited about our third generation Ryzen 7 and Ryzen 9 stack. And if you think about it, Ryzen 7 processors, 8 cores, 16 threads. We have the new flagship Ryzen 9 3900X, which is the first 12-core processor for mainstream gamers. And what you really see here is leadership across the board at every single price point. That was our goal. So let me just show you a little bit of the numbers, okay? Let's just start at the top of the stack and see how 3900X stacks up against the competition. All right, what we're comparing now is the 3900X against the competition's Core i9 9920X, which, by the way, is a $1,200 processor. And this is 12-core to 12-core comparison. And what you see is that the 3900X wins by 14% in single-threaded performance. We also win in multi-threaded performance, and all of this is at 105 watts. So think about it, more performance, less power, and by the way, it's less than half the price. Now, I know some of you have also been wondering, just how does the 3900X perform in games, right? So let me show you. Let me show you first some data. And here we compare the 3900X, again, now versus the 9900K, okay? And this is across some of the top AAA gaming titles. This is in 1080p, so that we can really stress the CPU. And what you just see is incredible performance for these titles. Very high frame rates, essentially maximum gaming performance, where the CPU's job is to get out of the way of the GPU. And is that great or what? Now look, numbers are nice, but gameplay is much better, isn't it? So let's actually see a real-world use case for the 3900X, not just for gaming. We're going to show you gaming, but we're going to show you what you can really do when you take the 3900X for a spin. And for that, let me invite Robert to the stage.
Hey, Lisa.
Robert, nice shoes.
Thank you, Radeon Red. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 1080p is a wonderful resolution, and lots of people choose it. But if you're a nerd like me, I have an ultra-wide 120 hertz monitor on my desk. 1440p is where I play. I hear some cheers down there. Right on, right on. All right, so 1440p is a big deal because we want to drive more pixels, drive higher frame rates. So let's take a look at Tom Clancy's Division 2, running at 1440p. Just hit World Tier 5 myself, gear score 503. If anybody else plays, hit me up, right? And what you see is a very comparable gaming experience. But what you really see is the Ryzen 9 3900X, this beautiful, monstrously powerful 12-core CPU, delivering an incredible gaming experience. 12-core gaming chip that's uncommonly powerful. But it's deeper than that. Gamers, like myself, they do more than just play these games. So what if we played this game and streamed it to YouTube at 10,000 kilobits using the slow OBS preset, which is just a quality preset that's so far above what most processors can do? What would that look like? Let's take a look at the stream view. This is what a viewer would see if we streamed this game on both of these processors. Yes, we did start the stream for the other guy, right? Right? That is the magic of a 12-core processor for gaming. You can do things that you couldn't do before. The other guy with 8 cores, sorry. All right, so let's take a look at the data. I want to show you by the numbers what you just saw. And both processors, same frame rates, but a real gaming experience from us and a smooth streaming experience for the viewer. That's how it should be.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, so for anyone who's wondering why you need a 12-core processor for gaming, do you believe it now? Look, we are just taking gaming and streaming to the next level. This is what we want to do. And now, let's take a look at the Ryzen 7 3800X in action. You know, my point earlier was that at every price point, we're giving gamers something special. And this time, we're comparing the 3800X against the 9700K across the same titles in 1080p. And what do you see? Again, you see just fantastic frame rates, well over 200 frames per second in most games at 1080p. And of course, you know that we have double the threads, and so the 3800X just outperforms and really shines in creative workloads. So that's the Ryzen 7 stack, my friends. But look, I said I have something for everyone. So now let's turn to the Ryzen 5 stack. And frankly, there are a lot of PC users who might have a budget of, let's call it $200 to $250. And the idea is to get the best processor you can get. And for that, the Ryzen 5 family is just a perfect fit. So these guys are 6 cores, 12 threads, Ryzen 5 3600 and 3600X. They have all the benefits of the new tech. So you got the Zen 2 core, you got the new infrastructure, and again, let me show you how these guys game, because they really game very, very well. Take a look versus the competition. This time it's versus the 9600K, and when you look, again, across all of these gaming metrics, the performance is frankly spectacular. It still has double the threads for creative applications, so you can do a lot with this guy. But as I said, we're all about showing you our products in action. So let's bring Robert back and let us show you Ryzen 5 for the first time. Robert?
All right. Yeah. Okay. I love talking about 12-core processors. I'm going to get a 12-core processor. But it's also true that most customers buy a $250 CPU. That's what people can afford. And so our job is to give you the best freaking processor you can get for $250. So I want to show you 1440p again, running CSGO. This is a very CPU-sensitive title that requires hundreds of frames per second. And we're going to show you side by side our $250 CPU with 6 cores and 12 threads versus theirs. And again, you see a very comparable gaming experience, upwards of 300 frames a second. And any CSGO player will tell you that every frame counts, because if you're trying to 360 no-scope someone, every frame matters. So for $250, 6 cores, 12 threads, you're getting an amazing gaming experience for a really nice price. And that, again, for any customer, is how it should be.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Robert. All right, so that was really great. Now, there you have the entire third-generation Ryzen stack. And this is leadership everywhere. From 6 cores to 8 cores to 12 cores, leadership at every price point. And so there is a Ryzen for every one of you enthusiast gamers. And all of these are on shelf July 7th, 7/7 globally. All right, so look, I know you guys are incredibly excited about Ryzen, but you know, it's time to go to the other half of the ultimate game platform. And now it's time to talk about Navi, our next generation GPU. are you guys excited about Navi? All right. So look, Navi is now called our affectionate Radeon 5700 series. And this GPU is designed brand new from the grounds up for gaming. And like we did with the CPU side with Zen, it was really, our vision to take a fresh look at the GPU architecture. The RX 5700 really starts with our brand new Radeon DNA, or RDNA architecture. And this architecture was, again, designed from the grounds up, completely for gaming. And you might ask, what did we focus on? We focused on architecture, we focused on design improvements, we focused on delivering more gaming performance with faster clock speeds and more performance per clock. And all of this at lower power. Also with PCI Gen 4 as the world's first gaming GPU. So let me share some of the motivation of our engineers around RDNA. Look, we've had incredible success with the GCN architecture around Vega. And do you guys love Vega? Yeah. And it's done really, really well in the market. But frankly, we thought it was time to build a brand new architecture for gaming like we did on the CPU side. And our thought process was really, for the future of gaming, we need a flexible and scalable architecture to go across every gaming platform. And that means we have all new stuff. We have a new compute unit design, we have new caches, we have a streamlined graphics pipeline. But what that means to you from a gaming standpoint is that we are seeing a 25% increase in graphics performance per clock cycle and a 50% increase in performance per watt with RDNA. So are you excited about RDNA? Now, we love architectures, but we love products even more. So it's really exciting when you see the product in action. Let's take a look. All right, E3, meet the Radeon RX 5700 XT. Is that gorgeous or what? All right, look, we are so proud of the 5700 XT, and all of you are going to fall in love with it as well when you hear all about the incredible engineering, both inside and out, on the GPU. Now, what can I tell you? The 5700 XT is delivering leadership performance in its class. So there's so much for us to tell you. Let me invite Scott Herkelman, our head of the Radeon gaming business, to come take it away. Scott?
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Thank you. All right. Hello, Los Angeles. Hello, gamers. Hello, welcome to E3. I'm so excited for you to all be here. We have been working on this GPU for quite a long time, and it is a pleasure to finally unveil it to you. I've been reading all the Reddit, Twitter threads. I watch all the streamers who talk about GPUs all the time, and there's always these rumors. But it's more fun to just show you the product itself. So let's go ahead and get started on the specs. 40 compute units, up to 9.75 teraflops, 8 gigabytes of GDDR6, a boost clock of 1905, and a game clock of 1755. Now, game clock is a new terminology, and that's what you're going to average see in a game on our game clock when you're playing most games. So it's a new one for you, and we'll talk to you a little bit more about that after the show. And then a 1605 base clock. But that's not, we didn't just stop there. Of course, it all includes the new RDNA architecture. Of course, it's on the 7-nanometer process. And of course, is the first GPU, gaming GPU in the world, to support PCI Express 4.0. So now let's take a look a little bit under the hood. we've spent a lot of time and effort to redesign our thermal shroud for you. And the redesign of that application was for a few reasons. We want it to be cool and quiet. We also want to give you the ability to overclock this GPU to its full potential. So this includes a power supply support connectors of 1x8 pin and then a 1x6 pin for your power supplies. And then my favorite part of the thermal shroud, besides the design, is the 7-phase digital power system, ready for most of you like me who are really looking forward to overclocking this GPU to its full potential. What do you think about that? Now, that's all great, but I know every gamer in here and every gamer on the stream watching is like, yeah, but show me the performance. Fine, I will. Let's do it. Okay, let's go ahead and start the demo. This next demo is a game called World War Z. It's one of my favorite games that just came out in April. And if you haven't played this game, over 2 million gamers bought and played this game across the world. Fantastic amount of people for Saber Interactive to get into the game. Thousands of zombies run at you. You can stand behind a Gatling gun and mow them down. So if you haven't played it, you should definitely try it. On the, what you can see here on the right is the 5700 XT running in 1440p against the RTX 2070, the same product in its class. And an amazing result, 117 frames per second versus our competitors' 102 frames per second. What do you think about that? Now, just in order of transparency, this is best. So a lot of you know that gamers sometimes play on DirectX 11, sometimes gamers play with DirectX 12 enabled, sometimes gamers play with Vulkan. We've just taken the best score from each of the GPU manufacturers and we said, put the best versus the best. So that way there's no trickery, and you can see that in its class, in the $499 class, the RX 5700 XT beats the competition and beats it consistently. Now, for our second announcement today is a brand new product called the Radeon RX 5700. It's got 36 compute units, up to 7.9 teraflops, also 8 gigabytes of GDDR6, a boost clock up to 1725, and a game clock of 1625. And now what you'll want to see next is where will this one be positioned? How does it compete against our competitor in a popular game? In this space, we know a lot of you play esports. So what I would like to show you next, and let's go ahead and roll the demo, is the Radeon RX 5700 against the nearest competitor, the GeForce RTX 2060. This is actually Apex Legends playing at 1440p, and one of the most heaviest things you can do in Apex Legends is throw thermite grenades, and that's probably one of somebody's friends just really taking a whole bunch of thermite grenades right at their feet and burning them. But the ending result of the 5700 against the 2060 is 88 frames per second versus 72 in esports. What do you think? Very good. So now let's take a look at the data. Again, fast, no matter the API. Their fastest versus our fastest, nothing to see here, but what you can, nothing trickery to see here for the gamers watching on the stream or in the audience. But what you can see here is that up to 10% faster than the RTX 2060 in the top 10 games that have launched in the last year. Truly leading performance in its class. Now, gaming performance is amazing, and I had to get that in front of you quickly because I wanted to get you excited about how much we put in just in terms of raw performance. All that comes from our new gaming architecture. All of that is a standard with our new RDNA architectures and all the features that we put into the process of making the chip. And of course, there's some other things I'd like to talk to you about, like game fidelity and gaming dynamics, some new features and feature sets that over the next few months, as you start to see this product in market, you'll see this adopted by our game developers that we'll have on stage in a little bit to talk to you about. So let's go ahead and dive into the Navi GPU family features. So RDNA, Lisa mentioned this a little bit ago, is our brand new grounds-up architecture built for the Navi GPU family, and the first products in that family are the 5700 series. Comes standard on the 7-nanometer process, support for GDDR6, and again, first in the family of GPUs for gaming to support PCI Express 4.0. And then we also have two new features that we're launching with the Navi family, which is the Radeon Media Engine for 4K encode, 4K decode, and also FreeSync HDR support, and then the Radeon display engine. So that will support DisplayPort 1.4 with this display stream compression, as well as a whole bunch of other features and cabling systems. So that way, as you look towards buying new monitors, you can use the Navi family of GPUs to get the best refresh rates, the highest resolutions, and of course, increased bandwidth to any virtual reality headset. So that's the Navi GPU family features. So, like many of you in here, you know that AAA gaming is the golden standard of any GPU. You care about high fidelity. How does the game look and feel when you're in there? High resolution. Can I play this at 1440p? Can I play it at 4K? And of course, all of those things combined with a fluid 60 frames per second gaming ultimately matters to how you actually feel in that game. So let's talk about one of the first new features that we're going to introduce today here at E3. So the very first feature is Fidelity FX. It is our game developer toolkit that we provide on GPU Open. It's a website that we manage and run. So that way game developers, a lot of them here at E3, can go to this website and download Fidelity FX and use all of the post-processing effects that make AAA games look great in game, and they can start integrating that into not only their engines, but also the games that they're building. So we are announcing that today. We're here with all the fantastic game developers, and we even have a few on the stage coming up in a little bit that'll talk to you more about this. But I wanted to do a quick thing first. You'll want to hear more from them about it, but let me just show you what some of these effects look like on screen. So as you can see here, this is a racing game, and we have Fidelity FX off and on, and it's just a subtle way to show you that if you've ever played a lot of driving games, you do know and you want to see that street below you. Where are you out in the corner? How far are you away from the corner? How fast do you feel like you're moving? And so the Fidelity FX provides that little bit of extra detail in low contrast areas where normally it might seem a little blurry. We add that little crispness and sharpness so you feel like you're more connected in the game, and it's a very easy thing for us to do with this new RDNA architecture because we have more performance for the game, and we're able to not only increase the sharpness, but also implement it while keeping your frames per second high. So this is a before and after of Fidelity FX off and on. Now let me show you a game that I'm sure a lot of you are anticipating, like I am, at the back half of this year, Borderlands 3. So Fidelity FX will also be integrated into Borderlands 3. And what we're showing here is a little bit before and after. So you can see in that yellow box, if you can't see it right now, there's actually little hexagons in there, honeycombs, if you will. And if you turn Fidelity FX on, you'll see that it becomes a little sharper for you. And that's just going to add a next level of detail in the game, virtually for no performance hit at all. It's something that as game developers adopt this inside their game, it's just going to add that really nice touch for your gameplay. So let's take a look at it side by side. It pops off on the screen a little bit more for you. And we're super excited about this technology. We have a lot of game developers signed up to not only implement this, but they agree with us. The agreement is you shouldn't launch a new feature in a game that hurts a gamer's performance and then do trickery to increase the resolution and make it blurry. Our commitment to you is always launch features with less of a performance hit and everyone can enjoy day one. What do you think about that? Now, if there's a game that doesn't or has yet to adopt Fidelity FX, we have a solution for you as well. It's called AMD Radeon Image Sharpening. Superior quality, no performance hit. This will be available the day the product is available in the market through our Radeon Software Adrenaline Edition. You can download it and enable it. It's going to give you pretty much the similar feature sets that Fidelity FX will, and you'll see that same sort of nice crispness in games. And as I mentioned, we have data for you. Our promise and commitment to you is that when we introduce new features that increase the quality of your in-game play, virtually no performance hit versus our competition. What do you think about that? Very good. Now, esports. A lot of you in here are probably like me. You play AAA games, but you also play esports games. We care about responsiveness. How fast between you and what you're seeing on screen can your character move and respond? Frames per second matters. You also care about streaming from your GPU to either YouTube or Twitch. Let your friends or fans watch what you're doing. And of course, a fluid 90 frames per second of gameplay or more. We have a new feature and many new features in our software package that we're rolling out. But today, I would like to zero in on one that I think every Radeon gamer is going to enjoy right away. And this is called Radeon Anti-Lag. let me talk to you about this feature. So if you love esports and you love beating your friends at esports, you now will have a chance to beat the GeForce GPU owners at esports. So let me talk to you about that. This is essentially a new feature. As we all know, lag to a server when you're playing an esports game is one of the most frustrating things. And so we took a look at that and said, how can we improve the lag between the GPU and the monitor? And one way to do that is to take a look at how we deliver the software from the GPU to the monitor and see if we can mitigate some of that lag. This is the feature to do that for you. And what I'd like to do is bring Robert back up on the stage, explain a little bit about the demo and the feature and why esports gamers are going to love it. Robert?
Scott, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Okay. So gamers all the time, they talk about getting higher frames per second because that reduces input lag, or the time between clicking a mouse or pressing a button and that showing up on the screen. There's a name for that. It's called motion to photon latency. Click a button, straight into your eyeballs. At 60 frames a second, that's about 4 frames worth of lag. 4 frames, that's a lot. So let's show 2 systems with the Radeon RX 5700 XT versus the RTX 2070, both running at around 60 frames a second. And in green, you can see that motion to photon latency. It's about 57 milliseconds from the time you press the button on your mouse or your keyboard to the time it comes out of the monitor into your eyes. Driving frame rates higher, that brings that number down. But what if there were a way to decouple the frame rate from the input lag? You could make that input lag lower even at the same frame rate. So what we're going to do is we're going to enable Radeon anti-lag, and you'll see that on the RX 5700 XT. You're going to drop to about 44 milliseconds of input lag, which is a full frame and a half of improvement over what you would have without this feature. So if you're looking for that competitive advantage in Dota, League, CSGO, where every frame matters, this technology can do it for you.
Very good. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. I highly suggest when you buy a 5700, you just turn it on, you don't tell your friends, and see what they say. So let me just show you some data, before and after. So these are across the most popular esports games using our brand new RX 5700 XT, both on and off. And you can see on average, you save about 31% of latency in the click to response on the screen, which is fantastic. And in the very popular game Fortnite, it can be up to 35%. So if you want an advantage against your friends who have Radeon GPUs or the competition, just don't tell them you turned it on, and then watch yourself climb to the top of the leaderboard. Okay, so the real reason why all of you are watching here is how much is this going to cost you? I think that's the question, right? Yeah. Good. Okay. Leadership performance in its class in the $499 segment. The Radeon RX 5700 XT will be available for $449. Leadership performance in the $399 segment, the Radeon RX 5700 will be available for $379. I am super excited about this. I'm super excited to bring you the best performance per dollar in the industry and without hurting your frame rates with new features and technology. I think that's what you deserve, and I'm so happy to bring it to you finally. And very soon, which is July 7th, which is my other announcement. So, lining up our complete ecosystem at AMD for all gamers, brand new CPUs, brand new GPUs, you, in the back half of this year, can play all of your games with all of your settings turned up and enjoy a fantastic experience from AMD and the AMD group that is in charge of gaming. So I'm super excited about this. But there is one more thing you're going to get from us. And that next thing is we have a fantastic partnership with Microsoft. As you saw yesterday in the announcement they made yesterday, but we're also announcing today that when you buy a 5700 series GPU, you will be able to play Gears 5 and 100 other PC games, and you can also get that same bundle with select Ryzen CPUs. What do you think? Does that sound great? Very good. Now, I quickly went through some performance data, some new features. I talked to you about pricing and availability of the products. and a little bit about a game bundle you'll get when you purchase one of our products at day of launch. But there's an expert here, and there's a whole bunch of great games behind my segment, where you're going to see some brand new, for the first time ever, gameplay, and you're going to talk to the people helping us make sure that all of the features that we just described to you are implemented in the games. Some of these are the big names in the industry, and to help us do that, I'd like to bring on stage with me to introduce them, Jeff Keighley. Jeff?
How you doing? Hey, Scott.
Hey, good to see you,
man. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so great to have AMD here at E3. I gotta say, amazing price points, and you guys are just rocking it here.
Yeah, we're ready to go. I think the back half of this year is going to be all about AMD. There's no doubt about it.
Well, I mean, it's awesome to be in, the new PlayStation, Project Scarlet, Stadia, and then PC, which we're talking about today with all these great products. It's great to see, and I'm sure everyone's wondering about the content that's going to be powered by these devices, which is great. And it's a good thing it's E3 because it's time to look at games, I think, right?
Yeah, I actually, we've been talking a lot about hardware,
Yeah.
but a lot of people here in the audience and watching on the stream probably just want to say, show me some new stuff.
Yep.
Let's show them some new stuff. What do you think?
We got some new stuff. I think we're going to take a look at some of the amazing games we're about to showcase for you guys. So awesome. Well, thanks, Scott.
That's great.
All right,
Thanks
see
a
you
lot.
soon. Take a look at
Appreciate
this.
All right. You guys ready to see some games? All right, fantastic. We have an amazing lineup of developers to come out here and showcase some titles coming to PC. You got a little taste of it there, but first of all, I want to welcome to the stage from the Coalition, Rod Ferguson, studio head, and Mike Rayner, technical director. Come on out, guys. Rod.